Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, we are looking at HTML elements. HTML elements. So we want to look at the difference between HTML elements and HTML tags. In the other class or in the other video, I treated tags. I talked about HTML tags. So what is different between tags and elements? So an element is a heading, a paragraph, an image, or any of the HTML building blocks. While the HTML tags are part of the elements. So a tag is part of an element. For example, you have the heading element. You have the div element. So when you define a heading, a div, so you define it using tags. So tags are part of the elements you have. Look at this now. Here now, you have this is an element. This is an HTML element where you create a button to send a message. So this element now, you open it with an opening tag. So this is a tag. This button here is an opening tag, and this is a closing tag. And here is the element content, the content of that element. So the opening tag, the content together with the tag form what you have as your element. So now we have what is called nested HTML elements. So our element can be nested. That is, the element can contain another element. So let's go to the VS Code to see this example that I've shown you here. So in general, every HTML page is a nested HTML element because HTML page of its own is a HTML element. Because when you open your page, you start it with HTML and then end it with HTML. So the beginning and the closing together form an element. So inside this element, you have a lot of other elements inside. So such an element, so the HTML file itself is a nested element. So let's go to the VS Code to see how we can create a nested element. So meanwhile, to create your HTML file in the VS Code, in each HTML file, you have the opening tag of HTML and then the closing of it. So there's a easy way for you to create your HTML file without typing the the opening tags and the closing tag of the file. So if you come here now, this is your VS Code, just type HTML. So as you are typing now, you see those options that are here. So just click on this HTML5. If you click on this, automatically it will create the file for you. So this is the doc type. This is an HTML element from here to this ending. This is an element. So inside this element, you have other element like the head element, you have the body element. So this HTML element as a file contains, for here now you have two major other elements, the head and the body. And inside the head, you also have meta element, you have title, and so on and so forth. So this is what is called a nested element. So inside this uh, page that we have created here now, we can now begin to type many other things that we may want to add inside this HTML element. So that is the what we have as nested element. So we can, looking at this, now, we have so let's rename this. Let's see now the title of the document. Let's call it um, let's call this, what title should we give it? I can call it portfolio, my portfolio, my portfolio. That should be the title of the page. And when we come to the head, of the page now, I can type. Uh, let's define a head H1 here inside the body to give the main heading of my page, and I call this one about me. So the H1 now is about me. Type something like this, about me. Or let me change this from portfolio. Let's call it uh, let me leave it like that, my portfolio. So the first thing is about me. That is my H1. So here now H1 is another element. H1 is another element that is made up of the element content, which is about me, and the closing tag H1 and H2. These are the closing tags. So we have so I can write something that I can now write a paragraph. So inside this paragraph, let me say I I am a I am a PH I'm a PhD student at Federal University, Dutsima. That is that is one. We can write another paragraph. You can say inside here now. You can say that I obtained my Master of Science degree at Benue State Benue State University. Uh, Coding. So if we can run this thing now and see. So this is a complete nested HTML element. The main element we have opened here is the HTML file, starting from here and ending here. So inside the HTML, we have another element, the head. And inside the head, we also have other elements. We also have the body element, which contains of other elements here. We have about me, we have a paragraph, you have another paragraph, and so on. So this is what is called a nested HTML element. So if we run this, we can be able to see it in the browser. So if we go to live, you can see this is this is a page we just created. This is a title about me. I am a PhD student, so all this and that. So that is what we mean by nested element. So another thing is an empty element. HTML element with no content are called empty elements. Example, the BR element defines a line break. You use this to write to break a line, and it is an empty element without a closing tag. Example, let me copy this example here and let's paste it into the VS Code. So if we do control copy here, come here, and you copy from here. So if I come to VS Code here, inside this body, I have another paragraph. So if I paste this here, you say I am a skilled and passionate web developer with expertise in designing and developing dynamic. So this particular, let me go to the presentation here and show you what this is all about. So here now, this is a paragraph. I am a skilled and passionate web developer with expertise in designing and developing dynamic, user-friendly websites and applications. So after the full stop here now, you now break this. So it will continue on another line. This BRC will now make this right of the writing here. After the full stop, it will start with this with a strong background in front. It will start on another line, not joining it on this same line. That is what the BR element does. It forces the, the next thing to go to another line, but not on the same paragraph. The paragraph starts each paragraph starts separately, but this one is still within the same paragraph, but it will make it go to another line. So if we run this thing that I pasted here now, if we run it with that break that has been defined, let control save now and go to our browser now, we'll be able to see the change. You can see here now, say I am a skilled and passionate web developer with expertise in designing and developing dynamic user-friendly websites and applications. So if we did not put that BR, this would have continued on this same line. But with that, it has come to a second line, even though it is still in the same, it is within the same paragraph. Looking at these first two here, this I am a PhD student, I obtained. These ones are two different paragraphs. You can see space between them. But here there's no space. It is still within the same paragraph, but starting on a new line. So that is what BR element does uh, in web your web page. So note that HTML tags are not case sensitive. So the capital letter P and the small letter p mean the same thing in HTML when you are talking about writing the element and their tags. So here now both the P and the small p, they represent the same thing when it comes to HTML tags. So we have what is called HTML attributes. And attributes provide additional information about HTML elements. So when you define your HTML element, you now give the attributes of that element. What is that element for? So all HTML elements can have attributes. Attributes are always specified in the start tag. You give attribute to your element with a start tag, not the closing tag. They usually come in name stroke value paste, like name equals to value. You specify the value to that name that you have. So the A tag defines a hyperlink, and then you use the href attribute to specify the URL of a page. So for example, here now, this is the tag A. Then you now use the attribute href to specify the path to this one now. Here now, this example of my YouTube. This is my YouTube channel. So let me copy this. If you copy this and come to VS Code, and paste it here. So we have defined our HTML element using the A tag to give reference to a particular link, and we use the attribute href to direct users to my YouTube channel. So if we save this and go to the browser, you'll be able to see how you can go. So here now you can say visit my YouTube. If you click on this now, it will take you to my YouTube channel. It take you to Oba Digital Academy. You can see this is a channel. This is my YouTube channel. You can see these are the different videos that I have. So in essence, what we have said here so far is that you use you use the href attribute to specify the URL of a web page. Like my YouTube channel, you can be to your Facebook page, or to your WhatsApp group, could be to your personal website, and so on and so forth. So href is one of the attributes in HTML that we have. Another attribute is the src attribute. When you are adding image to your page, you use the src attribute to specify that particular image that you are displaying. So it specifies the part of the image to be displayed, while you use the img tag to embed an image in the HTML page. So here now, if you come to this, if you come to the VS Code here, if you come to VS Code here now, let me come above this before this about me, and put my profile picture here. So you open this with the img tag. You open it with img tag, and then you use the attribute src. You specify the attribute src and then type the name of your the part. So here now, when you are, it has to be a picture that is added to your page. So I have added some pictures. So let me use this my pics.png. So I type my pics. So when you start typing, the pictures, the images that you saved, they will come up. Like this is the second one. I will choose this second one. So this src now directs you to the part of your image. So if I close this, I can now run. If I go now, I will be able to see the picture. I will be able to see my picture. So let's save this and go to the browser. So now something you will know is that if you go to the browser, you will see the picture so unorganized, so large that you may not be able to see the pictures very well. Let's open it and see. So this you cannot even see the main picture. So this is the face coming down. Look at it. Because there are some attributes that we're supposed to have assigned to this. So to avoid this type of display, you use a height width attribute. So that is another type of attribute that we have. We have the height and the width attribute. While you use the img tag should also contain the width and height attribute, which specify the height and the width of the image in pixels. So if we come back here now, if I specify something like this, after I've put this image, you can give a space here and say height is equals to, let's say, 450. That is 450 pixels. And then I say width. Width is equals to, let's say, 400. So if I save these changes and come to my browser here now, I will be able to see the picture. You can see it now. It's not covering the whole of the page now. So you can expand it to cover from the whole of this area and so on and so forth. We are going to look at how to position our pictures when we start doing CSS. But for now, just know that you can use the width and the height attribute to give the height and width of your picture when you are adding. So that is how you use the src attribute to specify a part to your picture, and you also use the height and width attribute to specify the size of the picture. So the next one is the alt attribute. The alt attribute is also used in image tag. It specifies an alternate text for an image. If the image for some reason cannot be displayed, this can be due to slow connection or an error in this src attribute, or if the user uses a screen reader. So when you define your image and you use the alt, that is the alternative attribute, if by any chance that picture cannot be displayed, it will see that alternative statement or the alternative text that will be displayed, telling someone that there is supposed to be an image there. So if, for example, here now, if we come back, I suppose this example here, I didn't specify the alternative. I only stick this in. But let me show you what I'm saying in this code here now. So here now, after we specify, if you can even, before we specify the height, we can say alt. Let me, you say alt, that is the alternative. Then you now give, you can say my profile picture. My profile picture. So if we put this my profile picture and something, maybe now you made a mistake in this your S, instead of SRC you now say SCR. If we put it that way, the picture will not be displayed, but the this my profile picture will appear there with a symbol of a picture to show that there are supposed to be a picture there. So if we save these changes and come to the browser now, we can see here now the picture that's supposed to have been displayed here is not displayed because there's a mistake. The SRC attribute is not properly used. So, but you can see it is telling you that my profile picture. There's supposed to be a profile picture here. So that is what the alternative attribute does. It gives you the this thing. The alt attribute specifies an alternate text for an image. So if we go back and correct that, instead of writing SCR, we type the correct thing, which is SRC. SRC, and then we save it. If we come back, we have our page as we have the image displayed as it showed before. So, but maybe you are reading this page and the network is not strong, the network is not good enough to display this picture, or maybe the picture is damaged somehow, but you'll be able to see that there is supposed to be a picture and the text will show that there is supposed to be a profile picture here. So that is about auth attribute. Which other attribute do we have? We also have the style attribute. The style attribute is used to add styles to an element such as color, font size, and more. Even though styling is used in CSS, you can specify some styles using your HTML using the style attribute. So you can specify the color is, for example now let's go to VS Code again and type and do this. So here now we add another attribute here. Let's use P. Let's open it with a paragraph. So inside the paragraph now, we type and say style. No, this not like this. You just say style equals to, put it in double quote, and then you can say that my fa my favorite color is good. No, this is not. They will put this one after they will close the tag. We'll put this one style equals to good. We'll put a style equals to, let's say, open another, call this one color, and specify the name of the color. You can say red or gold. Let's use gold here. Color is good. You put this. then close it like this, and then you say this tag that as soon as I do it will be closing. I'm not closing the tag, the style tag here. Then you say my favorite color is good, and then it goes this like this. This is correct now. You say style is equals to color, and the color you specify is good. You can change it to red, you can change it to any color. So if we run this, let's save it. If you come here now, you'll be able to see this text color. So what we are saying here now, you use the color attribute. You use the style attribute to give to specify the type of this thing that you want to do, to add styles to your element. This color is not just color. You can use any other attribute such as color, the font size, and more. But we'll do more of that in CSS. So here now, if you come in and look at this, you say my favorite color is gold, and the color is shown. So if we go back and change it to another color, if we change this from gold, and let's say my favorite color is red, then you can see that red has shown there. If we change it, if we save it and go to the browser, you see that it has been changed from gold to red. So that is how you specify. So in a paragraph, particular paragraph, if you want to give it a color, you can use this attribute to give different font color to your text. So another attribute we have is the HTML headings. I already mentioned about headings. So you use the headings are titles or subtitles that you want to display on a web page. You know, different headings. If you want to, like here now, I use this about me. I use H1 that gives this heading about me. You can use another attribute. You can use another element, maybe H2. So heading elements are made up to six. You have H1 that defines the most important heading, and then up to H6 that defines the least most important heading. So you have something like this. You can define something like this: H1, H up to H6. So let me show you this one so that you can see the difference. So if we copy this one out and paste it in the code, in the VS code, you will see how it will be structured in different font sizes. So if I paste this here, let me remove this. This one should go to another. So this is how you define. So this head one, I'm saying you can put different thing. You can say here that maybe you can this your heading 1, you can give it a heading as maybe it is a, what can you say? You can say breaking news. Breaking news. That is, you use H1. And then H2 now, you can say something Naira has appreciated. So then another heading, you can say something like um, whatever title that you will want to give. Let me copy out this particular one and press it over and over so that you only what I want to show you here is to see the differences. So in the H3 now, it will appear less. We'll put it the H4 will also make it look less. H5 will do the so H1 gives you the bigger heading, and then H6 give you the smaller the smallest headings. So if we save these changes, if you come to the browser, you'll be able to see what we have displayed here. So you see now, you see breaking news, this H1, it looks bigger. Another one, Naira has appreciated. In that order, they keep reducing as you are using different um, you are using different headings. So headings are used to specify, to give the type of heading that you are operating with. So another attribute or another element is you can make your header bigger. By default, what you have here, this is by default, this is the size of H1, but you can increase this. You can increase this H1 if you want it to look bigger than this. You can increase it using bigger font size. So you use style. As I gave example about style, you can still use a style to increase the size of your text. Like the style we use in the previous one, we use color. So here now, let's um, if we come here now and change this H1 here now, we specify that style is equals to font font size, and you specify the pixel, let's say 60 pixels. So if we run this, you will see that this particular heading will look bigger than it was before. You can see the difference now. We have added the font size. So by default, you can keep the default font size of your heading, which is H1. But if you want it to look bigger or to reduce it and so on, by reducing it, you can use H2, H3, and so on. But if you want something bigger than the normal H1, you now use the style elements. You use the style attribute to add the size of your so we have what is called HTML horizontal rule. HTML horizontal rule defines a thematic break in an HTML page, and it is most often displayed as horizontal rule. So we use the HR element to separate content. For example, now, if like in developing your CV or your resume, you separate each section after the heading that talks about your name, your contact, your email, and so on. Then you can now uh, you can you can use HR to break so that it will take it the horizontal it should give you different lines. So example now, let me copy this code out here. This particular one, I use this in form of something uh, like CV that I'm talking about. So let me copy this here and bring it to VS Code here. Let me remove this heading to and let me leave it. For demonstration purpose, I'm doing everything on the same HTML page here, just for you to understand the concept. When we are done understanding those concepts, we now create a project. We now create a demo project to show how those things. Now I'm just showing everything here in a single page using different ideas. But by the time we grab those ideas now, we can now use it to create a demo project. Some like this portfolio website I'm talking about, you can create a portfolio website, you can create a landing page, you can create a school website, and so on using HTML. But that is when we are done with HTML, we do CSS, how we style them properly before we start. Because by now our page is not looking any good. See, it's just anyhow because we have not started using CSS. By the time we start doing CSS, we begin to give our page a better look. So here now, if I if I make this change, okay, I've not pasted it. Let me paste the code I copied over there. Let me make it look the way it should look because I've copied from. Let me make this thing comprehensive. So here now we have a header one that gives the name of the person, the city and country. Let's put a comma here. The city and country, the email address, and the web address, the website address. So and then we use HR. That is what we mean by horizontal rule. We use HR to break this heading from the next H1 that we are starting with. So another H1 now we say professional summary. We now talk about now summarize what this person is all about. And then we use another, so from here now we can separate it with HR again. Let me see, the HR should be somewhere here. HR is inside here. Let me enter here so that I will see it before we come. Remember that if you just enter without using any element, it will not, it's still the same thing as you are continuing on the same line. So let me enter here again so that you'll be able to see what we have written. It does not change anything. All these enter that I have hit, enter, enter, enter. It does not make anything. If I do not use the break attribute or HR attribute or I use a paragraph, they will still remain, it's still the same paragraph on the same page. So you can break them for the purpose of for you to see the code that you have typed instead of it. So here now, after this, I use another HR here now to separate. So the P tag that I use here, look at where it closes here. So this is where it ends. So whether you enter here, you enter different, I enter 3 times so that I can see this thing here. But it will still appear on the same paragraph with no break. And then I now use HR to separate it again. And then open another H1 tag. And this one I name is a technical skill. That is the technical skill of this candidate. And then I use a paragraph with a little of the skills. So you can now use this type of, let me show how it will be displayed in the, how this will be displayed in our browser. So do Control Save to save the changes and go to the browser and see. So you can see now. So this person, and this is a CV. So you say Basi Tedu, that is the name of the candidate, the star, Nigeria. This is the email address, and this is the website. So you now, that is that HR now, that is what breaks this to this. That bring this line here now. So you now give another heading, professional summary. He's an innovative and detail-oriented web developer with 5 years of experience, this and that and that. After that, you now use a HR to separate it again. You separate this professional summary from technical skill. And then, so you can add more features. You can add work experience. You can add hobbies. And you can add making your page looks bit neat. This HTML structure anyway. You have not given the color. Maybe you may want to say the professional summary should have different color. You can use styles to do all of that. The essence here is to show you how you can use HR, that is horizontal rule, to break your the section of your page. So horizontal here, you are going, everything about this is going like this, going horizontally. So another element is the HTML pre-element. The HTML pre-element. What does this one does? It The HTML pre-element defines the pre-formatted text. It defines the so the way you write the text, if you use the pre element, that is how it will still remain in your code. So you can now, example now, you can use it to create a poem. For like this one, and this is one of the secondary, the nursery poem that you teach children on how to read. They say something here, a cat, a fat cat sat, a fat cat sat on a mat. So the way you write it here now, if you use the PRE element, this is the same way to be displayed in in your VS Code. So let me show you what I'm saying here. Let me show you that. So if we copy this, can copy this and come to my VS now and type and press it. Remember, I told you that I'm doing everything inside same page so that it will, but it is for demonstration purpose. For the real project, you cannot be mixing things that are not the same anyhow. But I just want to be showing you so that you just keep following. So if I paste this thing here, I have to remove those features here. So I talk about empty, what do you call it? I talked about empty element. So this PRE element, no, it's not an empty stuff anyway. So let's a cat, a fat cat, a fat cat sat, a fat cat sat, enter again, a fat cat sat on a mat. So this, you define something like this. Let me use let me use H1 here. H1, come back here also H1. So I have said that using the pre-element to write a poem. That is the heading. So now this is a poem. A cat, a fat cat sat, a fat cat sat on the mat. So you use the that is the pre-formatted method. So that this text, the way I wrote it here, this is how it should remain. So if we save this and come to the browser, you can see it now. Say using, there's a way I put it in. Oh, the way I put it here now, it has been recognized as, so let me remove the tags so that it will not uh, separate my code like that. So using the pre-element to write a poem. So this is a poem that we wrote. This is how we wrote it in VS Code, and this is how it shows in the browser. So if we come here now, if we come and remove this pre text that we defined, if we remove this code, the whole of this text will now appear on one line. We save this, come back to, you can see the whole thing has come to the same line. A cat, a fat cat, a fat cat sat, a fat cat sat on the mat. It should now all appear on the same line. So that is the essence of right here using the PR so that we format the, let me undo. It will now format the text the way that you want it to appear instead of drawing it on a straight line. So as I've done the changes, it still remain, it came back to how it was before. So that is um how you can, there are many other elements, but we'll be using them. We're using them one, um, as much as we're using HTML, you use a lot of elements. The div element, we'll be treating those ones as special. Div element, the section, the and so on and so forth. So for now, we are ending this video here. We treat them more as a progress. Thank you.